Good evening, people. As I mentioned, this will be a slightly different meeting. We will go through the presentation. I'm just going to add in a lot of detail where I think it's necessary so that you have better understanding of how the system works. So before I go any further, I just want to read the disclaimer. This information that I share should not be considered as financial advice. We share information about what we actually do ourselves. Please be sure you understand what you're putting your money into. And if you're unsure about something, please ask. Remember, historical results are no promise of what will happen in the future. Whether you're an opportunity seeker or an investor or someone who just wants to save, NWP's got solutions for you, and we'll have a look at those. The vision of NWP is to be the most trusted global platform for responsible income growth. People will offer you income growth. We see a lot of that. But is it responsible? Is it something that's trustworthy? And then the mission of NWP is to empower individuals worldwide to unlock and grow their financial potential through innovative tools and effective strategies. The core values of NWP are transparency, and we will talk a lot about the transparency this evening, innovation, community, a very big aspect, and I think Rakesh mentioned that you know the weekends, the rewards, and those sort of things. That NWP, it's not just for the member; it's also for the family, and there's a big focus on community, family, and you know that freedom that comes with you and your family, as opposed to just you on your own. Because when it's just you on your own, it feels so much like work. When it's you and your family, then you're part of a community, and that's such a nice value. What's in it for me? And that's what everyone's here for. They want to know that. So what NWP is, it's a trading platform designed to manage investments for its members, giving you weekly income. And that's the focus, is so instead of you having to wait for a 1 month paycheck or whatever you normally used to, NWP has designed a system where you can actually earn money on a weekly basis, therefore helping you grow financially. But most importantly, you maintain the flexibility to withdraw your funds whenever you require them. So it's more of a savings account than it actually is an investment, because normal investments, you tie up your money for a long time. With a savings account, that's when you can withdraw your money at any time. So instead of seeing NWP as an investment, which it is, but you can see it as a savings because you have access to your capital at any time. And that really makes a big difference. Your capital with NWP, it's always in your control. So you decide. Now, how it works is your money is with the brokers and they trade for you on a weekly basis. Then what happens is that trading is actually, because they're looking for returns on a weekly basis, 30% of your capital is used for the forex markets to trade on a weekly basis, no more than 30%. It'll be usually a lot less, but up to a maximum of 30% of your capital will be exposed in forex trading to generate the weekly profits that you see. You maintain the control, therefore you could look at it as a weekly system. On a weekly basis, you decide whether you want to keep in the system, carry on, or withdraw your profits, or we'll come to how you withdraw your profits, and that's something that you need to do, but you decide whether you want to keep your capital in trade on a weekly basis, or you want to withdraw it. Should you wish to withdraw your capital, the first time you take your capital out, it's a free of charge. The second time, if you take your capital out again, that'll imply a fee of 2% on any of the subsequent withdrawals. But your first time you take your capital out, it's a free thing. NWP pays the fee on that for you, because NWP wants you and respects you and your money. So they don't want your money. If it's your money, you're going to have control about it. And obviously, if you're going to sort of put capital in, draw it out, put capital in, then that's when you would need to charge. But if if you're just going to leave your capital there, it's going to stay there. And when you do need your capital, you won't be charged a fee unless you do it a second or third time, as I've mentioned. Let's have a look at the different asset portfolios that are available with NWP, starting at the foundation portfolio. So this is the entry point. Here you can start with from $10 up to $9,999. And what happens here is that weekly profit, they're looking for a monthly target of between 5 to 10%. The weekly would be, like we saw this last week, 1.28%. So that goes towards that monthly target, but you are paid on a weekly basis. So how it would start is you would put in anything between 10 to 5,000. You can invest in the foundation portfolio up to $9,999. However, the biggest individual portfolio that you can open is a $5,000 one. So if you were going to put in $9,999, well, it's sort of find another dollar and go into the next level, because the foundation portfolio, it's just there so that the system knows how much you got. If we look at this on a basis, you've got your account. So that's you, where it says this is you and you've now invested or you've entered the NWP system. Each time you make an investment, it'll show in your back office. And every week that it shows in your back office, you'll actually see, if you look at your rewards profit section, you will see your profits on a weekly basis. And each portfolio that you've opened will be listed and it will show the profit that you've made. One thing that people often ask is they think because there's different portfolios, that it's going to go into separate wallets. No, all your profits will go into your checkout wallet. Initially, people were actually drawing their money out and putting it back in to try and get it into one portfolio. Obviously, when things are new, people get a little bit confused. But don't worry, the system looks after you. So all your profits go into one checkout wallet on a weekly basis. And as long as you've got enough to draw, you can withdraw it. We'll get to that. Right, so that's how it works. That's the initial first part of NWP, the foundation portfolios from 10 to 9,999. The next portfolios are the growth portfolios. This is where you've got $10,000 or more invested. Now, if you were in the foundation and you've gradually added to your investment, the system would automatically determine when you've got more than 10,000 in those total portfolios. As soon as your total portfolio value reaches 10,000, you will automatically move yourself into the growth portfolio. The system will do that for you. So there's no need to withdraw your capital and put it into the growth portfolio. The system will automatically take you from the foundation, put you into the growth, and in the growth portfolio, you'll be earning between 8 to 12% per month. Remember, profits are paid to you on a weekly basis. Then as your portfolios grow, you will then go up to the elite portfolios, where if you've got anything more than 50,000, you will start earning the target between 10 to 15%. Again, no need to move. The system will automatically take you from growth to elite when you get there. All right, so the weekly profits, how have we done so far? This has been the results for the last week. As you would have seen if you're on the groups, 1.28% was the profit for this last week on the foundation and the growth portfolio. Now, what you will experience in the growth portfolio is that the weeks will fluctuate slightly. Some weeks will be better than others, but brokers and traders are still working for those targets. So we just go back, those targets that I spoke about, you might see your result for the week might be a little bit lower in the growth, for instance, but you will still be targeted and you will still see at 8%. So if we look at that growth portfolio that I've just shown you, even though their percentage this last week was the same as the foundation, and that could be because the traders are taking a longer position, profits would come out for the week, you would then get your positions for next week, your profits would probably be higher. But as you can see here, if you look at the total for the week, that was 8, or the total for the month rather, you're still within that target of 8 to 12%. So I hope that just clears that up. Sometimes you'll see It's the same. Sometimes you'll see different. Remember, it depends on every week. It's real trading. Whatever the traders have declared for that week, you will see in the report. Now, how it works, you put your capital in and then you invest. So you put your capital in and you open a portfolio for yourself. How do you do this? Well, there's the different cryptocurrencies that you can start with, deposit your capital, that will arrive in your back office and you'd open a portfolio. Once you've opened your portfolio, you would then start trading. Now, trading started midnight on Sunday night, you could say. Early Monday morning it started and it will end on midnight Friday. So that's the trading week and you'll receive profits on a Saturday from that. As long as you've got your money in by midnight tonight, you will still receive profits for this week. The system does give you a little bit of a leeway. So if you didn't manage to get your investment in last night and you're still wondering if you can get it in tonight, you could get it in tonight and you will still receive profits this Saturday. So that's the cutoff for the trading week, is a Tuesday night UK time at midnight. Then your weekly profits are given to the payment gateway every Saturday. So once those results come out, the profits are then separated and sent to a payment gateway. That's completely separate so that it's available for you to withdraw. And your capital remains with the brokers so that it can trade next week unless you decide to withdraw your capital. But if you don't, if you leave it there, it'll do the same next week around. Your profits, as I mentioned, are sent to the payment gateway and they'll remain there until you're ready to withdraw them. They're not sent back to NWP. They are separate. They are there and they're waiting for you from a Saturday when you see your result and you see there's money in your back office. That money, that's whatever's in your wallet, will remain there with the payment gateway until you make the withdrawal. Now, if you've got $5 or more, you can make the withdrawal. If you've got less, that less will still remain with the payment gateway. It's not into the system. So NWP is not using your little profits to make some extra money for themselves. It's already separated on a Saturday in the payment gateway. You'll make that instant withdrawal as long as you've got $5 or more, and you'll be charged a 5% fee. That 5% fee is 5% of whatever you're withdrawing, not 5% of what you've invested. So if you've got $5 to withdraw, 25 cents will be the fee, and you'll receive $4.75 in your wallet. The currency you'll receive will be Polygon USDT. Now, you've received it in your crypto wallet. Let's talk about these crypto wallets and crypto exchanges, because that's where a lot of the uncertainty and confusion comes when it comes to dealing with the system and how you're going to work with the system. Firstly, you've got to ask yourself, what is your strategy? Is your strategy that you've invested a lot, or you're going to be earning a lot from the affiliate system where you want to withdraw your weekly cash? If all you want to do is simply put in an investment or draw out your weekly cash, your strategy might be different from someone who's just wanting to save or invest. And let's look at those strategies now. If your strategy was weekly cash, then you would simply keep your money or withdraw your money to a crypto exchange. From the crypto exchange, you could then simply convert it to your rands, euros, dollars, rupees, whatever you need. You will then do that at a crypto exchange. But that's only if you're going to need it at a crypto exchange. Even if you were using a crypto Visa card or a MasterCard, your strategy might be slightly different. And please understand, this is just some suggestions. I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just giving you a guideline and telling you what we, or a few of us, do ourselves. If you were saving or investing, here we talk about a crypto wallet, and this is what's known as a private crypto wallet. So let's look at the differences between an exchange and a private crypto wallet. An exchange is where you would take physical cash, okay, from your bank account, your euros, your dollars, your rands, your pula, your Naira, whatever you've got, you would then convert that into cryptocurrency at an exchange. And at an exchange, fees are generally high. Okay, you're paying just like you would at a bank. Bank fees are high. Crypto exchanges, again, they're high. When we talk about an exchange, we're talking about an exchange like Binance, Luno, Kraken, Valar, Coinbase, all of those type of things. And there's many different ones in different countries. But that's what we're talking about an exchange. It's a centralized exchange, a centralized crypto exchange to be exact. Then you have the next thing, which is called a private crypto wallet. Sometimes they're called decentralized exchanges, but generally it's a private crypto wallet. Here we're talking about SafePal, Token Pocket, MetaMask, Exodus, Trust Wallet, the one you shouldn't trust. And the reason why I say that, and please be sure that when you, whatever wallet you're using, if you've used that wallet for something else, and especially if you've done a smart contract with some other scheme, do not use that wallet for any other transaction. You don't know how safe smart contract or the unsmart contract was that you used. Be sure, just do a little bit of extra work, open yourself a new wallet so that you don't get cleaned out. Because the problem is if you've used that same wallet for, and I'm talking about the wallet itself, the address, not necessarily the wallet. But if you've used that address, and that address that you're going to withdraw your funds to is linked to some smart contract, rather just open a new wallet to be safe. So those are your private crypto wallets, and the fees are generally much lower than your exchanges, subject to network. And when I say subject to network, Polygon, for instance, is a lot cheaper than your Ethereum-based things, and that's why NWP uses Polygon. So here's an example of a fee. With a bank fee, you would normally they charge you a percentage of whatever you transfer in. With the Polygon fee, it doesn't matter how much you transfer, you are simply going to be charged a fee to do it. And that fee, you can see here, whether you go for the slow, the middle, or the fast option, they're all less than 1 US cent for a fee. It doesn't matter whether you're sending $1 or $1,000 or $1 million, doesn't really matter. That is the fee to send on the Polygon network. That's why I often tell people, use these type of wallets, don't use the other things because they're just expensive. If you're going to be moving money in and out of an exchange all the time, that's like moving money in and out of your bank all the time. Bank's going to love you. They're going to give you reward points and they're going to give you free things because they are milking you. So don't let yourself be milked. Go the cheapest route. And if you're unsure, just ask. Here's the other option. Now, often on the exchanges, you will not find what you're looking for. In other words, you will find Tether, but you'll usually find the Ethereum Tether, which is the expensive one. If we had to compare, for instance, the Tether price, it's about $1 to exchange $30. That would be the fee. So if you were just investing $30, you'd probably have to spend $31 or $32 to get $30 worth of Tether. If you were doing it with Polygon, you would only need probably a third of that at the most, and that includes your exchange fee. So have a look at that. Now, my suggestion is exchange your money for Polygon or Pol. So when it's Polygon, it's Pol. Okay, it's not the Tether option yet. And then put it into your wallet. In this case, I've said SafePal, and then you do what they call a swap. Okay, a swap is going to, there will be a small fee incurred, but it's a small fee. It's not a big fee. And then you swap that into your Tether Polygon that you need for the NWP system, and then send it to NWP. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. When we're looking at this swap example, Polygon will move in value, so it's not a fixed thing. So don't write this down and think, and hold me to it. this polygon will change from minute to minute. You will get different values of polygon. But let's say, for instance, that you were looking for $101 in polygon. Instead of sending this whole thing for a swap to swap it for polygon, you're just going to say, I'm going to send 545, and you're going to leave this 565 for gas. Now that gas is going to be used for all the transactions you do in the future. So you've killed two birds with one stone. You've got yourself your USDT that you need for the NWP system, and then you've also got gas. And this gas is probably enough for, I would estimate, at least 200 to 300 transactions. Just this little bit of gas that you've separated. If you were going to buy gas and you had to do it on your exchange or on something else, they would probably tell you that you had to buy a minimum of $5 or $10 worth of gas. So you've wasted $5 because that $5 is going to be enough for you and everyone in your 1,000-member team to have gas for a year. Okay, it's ridiculous. So just do this on your swap and make it easy on yourself. I've always said, if you're unsure, let me guide you. We can guide you on this step. Okay, when you do this swap, by the way, it will take a few minutes. So don't, know that when you do a swap from your Polygon to your USDT Tether Polygon, you're going to then, it will be out of your wallet because it's actually gone to a third-party exchange via SafePal, via MetaMask, or Exodus, whatever you're using, and it'll be about 10 to 30 minutes, and it will be back into your USDT wallet. So that just gives you an idea of how the swap works in the system, and then you've got your USDT that you need for your investment, and you've also got your gas that you need for the future. So you've really done yourself a favor. Now remember, in the NWP, there's no auto investment. Okay, so you can't say, oh, I've got $10 in my back office, I just want to reinvest that. Well, you have to do the withdrawal. So therefore, you're not going to take it to your exchange if you want to just reinvest it. You're going to take it to SafePal. Remember, the payment gateway is going to charge you 5% regardless of whether you're drawing it out to your exchange or to your SafePal wallet. However, when it gets to SafePal, they'll only charge you less than 1 cent American to send it back to NWP. You don't have to wait for lots of money to think it's only worthwhile investing lots of money. No, as soon as you've got $10, the fee is negligible, and you can then send it back into NWP, should you wish. If you want to send it to your Visa card or something like that, you can do it just as easily through SafePal. And remember, you're going to set up your wallet address once in NWP. So choose wisely. If you're going to need it to make both withdrawals and to do reinvestments, use SafePal because that'll just give you the option to move it where you want to. If you need to change your wallet address, you're going to need to contact support, and that's going to take a few days for security reasons. So be sure that you choose correctly and wisely from the start so that you've got the right wallet set up and that you can make your withdrawals very easily. When you're ready to start, get your little booklet. It'll tell you how to register, start your portfolio. That is on most of the groups. If you're not on the groups, contact the person who knows you, who knows me, and who knows Rakesh, and they'll be able to get you one of the booklets. If you need support, that is the WhatsApp chat support. The girls are based in Canada. They're very helpful. To get hold of support, they will normally get back to you within about a half an hour. It obviously depends on the time zone you're in. Just remember to speed things up. If you know your NWP number, and if you can't find your NWP number, because just go and look in your genealogy. And in the top of your genealogy, it'll give your name and your number. It just helps them. That was the investor portion. Let's have a look at how you can make some extra income. Because NWP is so fantastic, they give you an opportunity to make extra income. There's some very unique things about the NWP affiliate plan. And one of the things is that you don't have to have any invested money yourself to earn from the referral system, from the affiliate plan. If you look at your back office, once you registered, you'll see there's a link in your left-hand and right-hand side. You can either choose to put people in your left side or your right side, and that's because it's a binary system. I'll explain to you what a binary is in a moment and how that works, but this is how you can earn extra money. The affiliate system uses the power of networking to build you a sustainable weekly income. Where does this income come from? The profits drive the bonuses. So in other words, if your investor is making money, the person you've referred, you can be making money as the person who referred him. If they're not making a profit, you won't get a bonus. But if they do make a profit, you can get a bonus, and that keeps the system very sustainable. When you see that result on a weekly basis, so this was 2 weeks ago, we got 1.5% for the week. What actually happened was 3.12% was generated by the traders that week. Then the profits are split 50-50. 50% goes to 1.56 to the investors and their profits, and 1.56 goes to the business volume. The business volume is there to pay the bonuses. How have we done so far? What does the NWP company look like? How do you know this is real? Well, here's the profits. This is from the foundation. Remember, the bigger portfolios will generate more, but the bulk of it has been in the foundation portfolio. So let's just have a look at that. So far, 76.39% has gone to the investors, and 76.39% has gone to the business volume, the bonuses. In 36 weeks of trading, NWP has paid out 152.78%. That's the transparency of the system. How do you know they paid that out? Well, no one keeps their bonuses or their profits in the system. It would just be stupid to do that. Why would you keep your profits there if they're not working for you? No, you're going to draw them out, you're going to put them back in, or you're going to go spend the money. You're certainly not going to just leave it at the payment gateway, because NWP can't do anything with it. So they had to have generated this money. Otherwise, those profits couldn't have been withdrawn. Everyone's withdrawn their profits. I don't know anyone who's got, could be wrong, but there might be people with 20 or 30 or 40, or maybe if they're sick, they didn't get opportunities to draw their money. But everyone else I know draws their money. And I promise you, most of them, if they've got $5 there, they withdraw it and they keep it in their own wallet until they've got enough money to make a reinvestment, or they go and spend it. It's not in the system. You talk about transparency. That's real transparency for you. So the business volume that you see in your back office, that's the weekly investment. So if we go back to that slide, the business volume was generated from the investor profits, the profits made for the investors and for the business volume. So what you see in your back office is the profit split for the week, and this will be, if it was your first week, your business volume will be that exact business volume for that week. When it's your second week, this becomes an accumulation. If you look at this is how that's worked out. And if this was your first week and you had 1,000 in your left leg and 730 in your right leg, your business volume would be 11.38. So that is the profit that if you had one friend who had $730, he would have made $11.38. And if you had one friend who had 1,090 invested, he would have made $17 in this week. So he makes that as his investor, and this is also the business volume that goes into your back office to generate bonuses. There's another example, same sort of thing, just a different profit, just so that you can see. I did this so that you can see on the next slide, these 2 weeks have now been combined. This week, which is your first week, you saw 1138, plus the 1022. In your back office, you're going to see a total business volume historically from the time when you started. And this becomes relevant, that time that you started and going forward, when we look at the rewards system just now. I hope you understand that where the business volume is coming from. What bonuses do you earn from this business volume? Well, certainly, firstly, you earn a direct referral bonus, then there's a binary bonus, and then there's a matching bonus. Let's look at those. The direct referral bonus, this is when you bring your friend in. So he earned, that guy on 1,090, if I remember correctly, he earned $17. You're going to earn $1.70, being 10% of the $17 he earned. Remember, it's not coming from his side, it's coming from your business volume. So those are, when you refer people from your direct referrals, you will earn 10% of whatever they earn. That's your first bonus from the business volume, 10% direct referral bonus. Then the next is a binary qualification. Now, what happens with a binary, you've got those two legs. You can either put people in your left or the right. Traditionally, when you've got one in your left, one on your right, you are qualified for the binary. Again, remember, you do not need to have an investment yourself to earn that referral bonus. You don't have to have investment yourself to earn the binary bonus. So let's have a look at the way you qualify. As I've just mentioned, if you put one in your left, one in your right, you qualify for the binary. If they've got an investment, the system sees volume and the system will award you a binary bonus because of the volume it sees in your left leg and your right leg. However, you don't need to put all the people in because you might have spillover. So, sometimes when you look at your genealogy tree, you see, there's people underneath me. Where did they come from? Well, that was from your sponsor and the people above them who've been referring people because, they want to earn some 10% bonuses, so they've been referring people. They can only put people on the left or the right. So therefore, when they put someone on the left, in this case here on this right-hand picture, they put in someone on their left, you were put on their left as well, and these other two people who they're going to earn from are on your left, but they do accumulate to your binary. Because the system doesn't look at that only for the referral bonus, it looks at who you put in. When it comes to the binary, it looks at everything down on your left and everything down on your right. If the system identifies that there's volume on your left and volume on your right, you automatically qualify for the binary bonus. The binary bonus will be 15% of that business volume that's generated for the week. The maximum binary that you can earn is $5,000. That's quite a lot of business volume. You've got a little way to go before you will get to the 15% or the maximum rather. You'll get the 15% immediately. The maximum might take you a little bit longer to earn on a weekly basis. It's not impossible. You can get there. It's just time. As more and more people join, as you join more people, that business volume grows, and so does your binary bonus. In the binary, this is the most confusing thing about the binary. I'm not going to try and explain it, but what I want to say to you is that there is a carryover. Now what happened, the binary is paid volume in both your legs, and you are paid on your lesser leg. So what's actually happened, if you've got $480, if this was your new week and not your traditional, not your historical week, if this was your new week, and you had 480, you would get paid 15% on that 480. You've also actually got paid 480 on the left side, but you only paid on one of your legs and the lesser leg. What happens to this difference is it's carried over. So that will be utilized in the future as your business gets bigger. So if you have a sudden effect where your right leg is bigger than your left leg, remember you'll always get paid on your lesser leg. And that's when that carry forward will come in. I'm not going to explain that because it gets complicated and everyone's back office is different. When you're there and you need an explanation, we'll have a long meeting and we'll try and explain it and understand it together. A matching bonus. Now, matching bonus is very simple. When your person that you've referred starts earning the binary, you will earn a matching bonus. 2% of whatever they earn on the binary, your direct referrals, and then the referrals of the referrals and their referrals on level 2 and 3 you will earn 4% of whatever they earn. So it's actually a little bonus. It's just there. Believe me, as your team grows and in the future, as your volume grows, your matching bonus could be an extra cup of coffee a week or something like that. It's very nice. So that's just something to look forward to. It's there. Again, your withdrawal fees, whether you're withdrawing your profits or your bonuses, you will be charged 5%. Your bonuses sit in a referral wallet and your profits sit in a checkout wallet. So those are the differences. So you will see your referral bonuses in one of your wallets and you will see your profits in the other wallets. Remember, they are separate, and the reason why it's separate is because you didn't need to have an investment to earn bonuses or your affiliate bonuses. So that's why one of the reasons why they are separate. As I've mentioned, the profits are completely sustainable. The system is sustainable because no one keeps their profits in the system. They go out. There's no internal rotation. And like other systems, you had to phone people and say, hey, have you made a withdrawal? No, in this system, believe me, everyone who's made some money has made a withdrawal, and they do it every single week. That's the peace of mind that we all have, knowing that if I made a withdrawal, most of the people I know made a withdrawal as well, because why would they keep it in the system? Affiliate plan, remember here, as I've mentioned, your earnings are not subject to your investment. People are automatically motivated because they got weekly profits. So you put someone in, you don't have to follow up with them. They will look after themselves because people love looking after their own money. That's the beauty of this type of system. So people are motivated by money. You don't have to motivate them. So it's like the product, which is the investment, that sells itself and it motivates your people. So you don't have to worry. Once you've got someone in the system, they will generally, if they're happy with their weekly profits, they keep their money in. If they're not happy with their weekly profits, they take their capital, go somewhere else. Is this passive income? In the way I see it, yes, it is passive income, because what passive income means, the earnings are gained with little or no ongoing effort. When you earn weekly from all your upfront effort, that's when it becomes passive, and then you earn more as your team grows. You can't grow your team or stop them from growing. This is really passive, because once people are happy and they tell their friends, well, your team grows with or without you. You don't need to be there. This is all about preparing. You, as in any business, you'll prepare the fields, and at a later stage, you'll get the rewards and prosper. So now I want to have a look at the rewards that NWP offers. These are the career rewards. Now, how the career rewards work is this is from your binary. So remember I told you that there was that historical binary, the one you see in your back office. It tells you your BV. So that historical BV, if you take your smaller leg and look at your BV and times that by 15%, that will tell you what you've earned on your binary to date. And when your binary earning reaches $100, you will then reach the rank of influencer. And what you'll do here is you'll receive a prize, 3-month data, or some alternative. And the reason why 3-month data is there is because in the Indian market and Malaysian markets and those sort of things, data is very expensive. It was a nice prize, and obviously they've sort of leading us at the moment when it comes to their results. So they've achieved slightly more, as Ritesh mentioned to you earlier. They've gone on some weekends already. When it comes to our rewards, we'll have a look at what 3-month data and what people want once you've earned $100 from the binary. So if you are close to earning $100 from the binary, well, think about what reward you might want, and we can talk about it. And we'll take it up with the founders group. The next level is Kickstarter. And here you have a luxury hotel stay with you and your partner. When you've earned $500, those are the first two, and you get those, right? And you take them, you can't bank them. Then when we come to the team builder and upwards, here, if you've reached 2,500 in earnings, and remember, this earning could be in 6 months, it could be in 5 years, it could be in 20 years, you will still achieve your career reward. It's a career. It's not a cut-off reward. It's not a date-specific or time-specific reward. You've got the reward when you've achieved the binary earning, as stipulated here. You've now qualified for the tablet. The CMN claim or move on, you decide, yes, my daughter needs a tablet, so I'm going to claim it. When you claim it, you then start your team builder at 0 again. If you didn't claim the tablet, you can simply move on and have $2,500 towards your $7,000 for your iPhone or your 2-day, 3-night international trip. If you don't want that, you can then bank that $7,000 again, $7,000 plus $8,000 to give you $15,000, where you could get a 5-day, 6-night international trip for 2 adults. If you thought, no, you've been on enough holidays, you really don't need that, but you'd love this Rolex watch. You've always wanted a Rolex watch, so just carry on working. You've already got $15,000 towards it. Another $10,000, you're going to get your Rolex watch. And that's where the career rewards end. So as I mentioned, whether you get this in 5 months, in 5 years, 15 years, it doesn't matter. Once you've achieved the 25,000 or whatever level is shown here on the screen, you will get that reward. It's an unlimited opportunity. And that's what NWP has tried to give, is an unlimited opportunity so that there's no pressure on people. Because so often, in sales, if you've ever been in sales, it's always pressure, it's always targets, and you almost feel that sometimes the targets are put there and only a few people can achieve it. And it's almost like the company has lied to you in a way. NWP wants to be transparent and give you the benefit. The company doesn't need the benefit. They make their own plans to manage their own company properly. Then there's the ambassador rewards, removing on from that, and the prizes just get bigger. Here you need to have a bit of a team structure. So we won't, it's there, you can see it, but, ultimately you can get things like a $10,000 bonus, some more international trips, a Mercedes, and a luxury villa going on. But anyway, that is my presentation for this evening. And I hope that helped you. I hope that explains a little bit more things. I know it's taken a lot more time than you normally used to. So thanks for indulging me. But I do hope the information that I've given you has helped. Well, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you on Thursday, same time on Thursday, if you need to come to the meeting. Thanks very much.